ladies and Germans. How you all doing? This is Conor.
Kangaroo, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today, Division 3 on Slutsky. Who do we have, sir?
On left hand side in the blue, we have CK530 playing 78th Sturm with a balanced income. And on right hand side in red, we have MK Ultra playing 8th Indian with a Maverick income.
Now, you and I talked about this before the cast got started, and I don't recall us having gone through this, but you said we've had. But just for the benefit of the folks at home, and certainly not for me, what should we expect out of the 8th Indian, sir?
They are a slightly more flexible, like British Commonwealth style infantry division. Having the Shermans is a bit nicer compared to having the Churchills, and they have some slightly better infantry, such as the Gurkhas, the Indian Rifles. But still, end of the day, it's all about artillery and anti-tank gun spam, which what MK Ultra is going to be leaning into.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the Indian Assault Pioneers, and noticing they actually pass out one of their flamethrowers actually for another Sten gun. Also, I'm quite surprised by CK530 actually barraging his own troops.
He wants to
Okay, yes,
motivate
there
him.
we go.
Oh,
There we go.
never mind. He didn't want to
I was like,
motivate him that much.
okay, now he's dropping a little bit further east. Okay, I feel a little bit better about this now. This makes more
Yes.
sense.
He's
But a very early BF-109, kind of sitting over here, getting some recon in, and a couple early Shermans. Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be a good position for Sherman's up north to provide some fire support. I'm thinking, yeah, CK's gonna, what's it called, blow up that position with the off-map artillery, and you see he has some shoot engines standby, I'm guessing he's gonna fast move him once the artillery fire is done.
Well, 210. So we talked about the majesty of the 105, but the 210, it's twice as heavy. Is it twice as nice? I would argue no, but we'll see what happens.
Let's have to see.
So the first round's not the greatest, but the following ensuing kind of barrage. Actually, the ACP IP or the ACV, this is a kind of beefier scout car, is it not?
Yeah, I believe it's a, like, Indian built recon car, kind of similar to, like, Universal Carrier.
Well, we are seeing for right now it is no longer existing. It's the first guy I think to actually die in this entire match.
Yeah, and the shooting never moved up. This is the perfect opportunity. Even the Indian assault pioneers are pinned down, but that is going to be a squandered opportunity, unfortunately, for CK. And okay, he's finally moving him. He's got the second off-map barrage. Still, I feel like he's not going to be punished too much for this. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know. The assault pioneers are back up and running.
Well, the Indian scouts now have seen these guys, so yep, these Indian assault pioneers are down, but the Indian scouts actually see this, which is going to cause more than enough of a hassle.
That shooting being forced to unload early, they get pinned down pretty hard, especially by that Boston, and MK Ultra will be able to push on back onto his original position.
Yeah, that Boston is kind of telling him to hold the line. And it's been such a long time since these guys have really been calling, so yeah, yeah. I feel pretty good about that one. Yes, sir.
Some heavy artillery being brought out from MK Ultra. We've got the 114 mil. And that's going to be, yeah, pretty good, just barraging the hell up north. It's a pretty choky position. And CK is getting pounded, yeah. Most of his dudes are pretty much pinned down. So this is actually a good counter-attack opportunity, especially if the Shermans from MK Ultra to make a move.
Actually, quite surprised by the rather fixatedness of this early match. We're not really seeing any action anywhere else along the line. It's just this northern approach, which, yes, there's a couple of flags, but I feel like there's some missed opportunities across the other parts of the map here.
Yes, there's a very choke point. Even like south of the river uptown, we usually see some sort of action back or forth. But no, both sides are fairly content trying to be the king of the hill.
Yes, indeed. And along with that being a show that I've never really watched, I'm a little confused by the reason that there's been so much oomph here. I mean, I'm looking further across. I'm seeing a spotter being rotated a little bit from the south to the north, and two of these 114s, which is such a bizarrely accurate or bizarrely specific. Oof, one Sherman going down. Um, Bizarrely specific caliber kind of being brought on out.
It's
Pretty good.
probably
Let's face this.
reference to some sort of poundage. 'Cause I believe those are I believe those are the Rotor 1 guns which the British used. Maybe? I don't know. Someone in the comments can correct me. But it's a weird number.
Now, of course, folks, when he says pound, he means the pound sterling, not the actual imperial pound. That's a very different kind of pound. It used to cost 114 sterling pounds to make them.
Oh yes, absolute bargain.
Yes, read along with the same thing on Boxing Day, which is a holiday that I will continually never understand, I'm sorry to say. Like, do you fight on that day? Do you do you
Use.
put things away in boxes? I don't understand.
I haven't got it either.
Aren't you on both sides of that?
I know, I know. Sometimes I get into fights, and other times I'm just hiding in a cardboard box, trying to wait for the pain to go away.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But Gurkha Rifles, in the meantime, kind of moving back over here to the northern sides, the 114 just continues to go to Pound Town. Take a look across here. I'm trying to think about if I were CK530, where the heck would I be deploying troops? I wouldn't be deploying them to the north. It just seems to build right back into the 8th Indian Infantry's kind of like benefit.
Yeah, especially with the heavy artillery play, MK Ultra can just keep pounding that position and just halt any major advantages here from CK. It'd be nice to see some play in the southern town, just along the river there. Really, both sides have a pretty good opportunity to try to make some good infantry pushes.
Oof. Panzer the northern side, taking out that other Sherman. So right now, there is no more armored fighting vehicle kind of support here. There's one squad of Schutzen that is not really Schutzening. In fact, they're just kind of sitting in the back of their trucks, just kind of, I guess, waiting for some kind of...
They're gonna
No,
shoot you later.
I'm sure. It's one of those things for me that I
I
feel
know.
like I'd be trying to be sneaky right now. I'd be thinking to myself, okay, let me see if I can just build up one squad of infantry at a time, like behind this Pack 40 down to the south. We have these two Pack 40s in the south central part of the map. Build up an attack force there just by, sneakiness, and then just throw them on forwards after the Indians overcommit to the north.
Oh yeah. That's
I don't know.
actually heavy. Yeah, it's a heavy amount of Pack 40s in that central position. And there's not really anything to, well, shoot. It's actually be also a pretty good location for CK to push up at least a bit. He has some decent long-range fire support with the Pack 40s and the MG42s, just throwing a few like infantry units into his forest. And I mean, it's not any flag positions, but you can control that central hill, which eventually leads to some pretty good flag positions.
105 Lefebvre is actually engaged in the 114s right now. And while there's a dingo running in there, no baby. I'm actually surprised the 114s have not tried to switch targets for counter battery. I feel like they'd be pretty good at it.
Oh yeah, it might be actually better for him to bugger off first before they get completely blown up here. They are taking some hits, no kills, or no casualties, I should say. We are seeing a bit of a push in that northern town position. Some Gurkha rifles, Flammenwerfers holding their positions quite well. But we also just have all the Schützens and Sturmschützens, and in longer range engagements, CK is just going to have the advantage with all that automatic firepower.
Ooh, there are two 105s engaging, so not twice as bad for them. And they're probably going to get 1 or 2 rounds off, but the first artillery position pinned. So this could go very badly, very quickly. One of the 105s is probably going to go down over here. But Northern Hilltop heating up, Schutzen moving on in, and we talked about the Gurkha rifles. Taking a quick look at their loadout, they got the gams, man. And triple Thompsons, 2 Brens, and 7 Lee Enfields, and a Partridge and a Pear Tree. That definitely rounds out a very, very solid squad. And look at that freaking veterancy.
Yeah, the fanatical trait, raider trait as well. They are a very good reason not to be Triforge with. They're probably going to... They actually have a decent amount of firepower and just for the veterancy stuff to actually go toe-to-toe with some of these well-armed German troops.
True. Very, very true. Third 114 being brought on in. Just checking around the minimap. Nope. All the action continues to be up here. And Gurkhas, for some reason, thinking that they go up against Sturmschützen without any other problems with Schützening. And they pay the price for it pretty quickly. Kind of an underpowered push, although I say that in the 17-pounder over here kills a Stug. But the kind of underpowered push over here from the 8th Indian. Can you think you could explain that for the folks at
I
home?
know, I just think both sides have just haven't really developed like good like strike package pushes. It's all been pretty, you just need a little bit more infantry, build up some more forces before fully committing. You need to have that build up phase instead of just, send in one reinforcement, like one income tick worth of infantry and attack, and then another income tick of infantry to attack. You need to rate like 2 or 3 income ticks and then push all in one big like force.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now we did see the Boston go down courtesy of ground fire. And folks, the interesting thing I think about this is, like you said, there's a different approach, I think, between the different divisions overall. Fine players in every single division, but I think right here we're seeing guys who are being a little bit gutsier, kind of trying to do more with a lot less. And sometimes that may not be the way forward.
Yeah, honestly, for CK, it's sort of slower, steadier playstyle. Works for him. He's
Oh,
balanced. Once we
absolutely.
get into C phase, which is 9 minutes from now, you got that double income advantage, baby. And especially on a map like this, with long ranges, that's perfect for 78th Sturm.
True. True. And now we have one thing I've noticed over here about the 8th Indian is that they do suffer the same kind of issues as most Commonwealth forces, and that apparently the Commonwealth thought to themselves, anti-tank? That's why you have Shermans, my lad. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Gotta bring in Jimmy of the Piat.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm not really sure what name I can say without it coming off poorly here. But, we're not really going to have the same level of anti-tank support that they really desperately need to go up against even a middling group of the 78th Sturm.
Yeah, just those few Stug 3s will be more than enough. It requires a bit more, like, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, intended micro. There we go. Only took me 10 seconds to actually get those Piats up close and deal with those Stugs. And even then, I mean, we got Sherman here engaged in the Stug, but Stug does have the anti-tank advantage in that sort of matchup.
Oh, it absolutely does. That's okay. Honestly, you're struggling to find the words. You started saying "put." My first thought was Potemkin, and I was like, no, 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 no. I had some classic cinema in my mind.
Yeah.
So, in the meantime, we are seeing the IG-33 in the back of this 78th position has been pounding various positions, been extremely deadly. In fact, the IG-33s across the board have been very, very good.
Just that long-range fire support helps Albert Rossi in the artillery, and now the Sherman's being put into play here, and they're actually providing some good fire support as well.
And one thing I don't really like, I think, in terms of MK Ultra is that he's got all of his artillery in one spot. Now, don't get
Oh,
me wrong, range is amazing. They can hit anything on the map, but I don't like concentrating artillery, even though it
no.
has this beautiful, beautiful kind of, I don't know, just it's just that aesthetic thing of watching all the guns fire at the same time. Trust me, I fall prey to it all the time myself. I don't like it.
No, it
It's
looks very cool, and it also actually has the benefit here of having the leader unit nearby for a bit of extra veterancy, but
mhm.
it's as reason we see a lot from like Division 1, Division 2, they always spread their artillery across the entire map. It's more of a painter supply, of course, but
Yep.
having it all centrally located makes it very easy, even though they're pretty spread out, to counter battery. You want
Yes.
them scattered all over the bloody place.
Exactly. You know what, guys? This is a tip overall. You should be thinking of your troops or your artillery position as a bit of like a scavenger hunt for the enemy, as opposed to kind of like a just like a bowl of soup for them to
Yes.
create.
It's good to spread
Life
out
is
your
much better.
supply depots.
Yeah, life is better when thought of as a scavenger hunt as opposed to a surprise party. I forget what wise man said that, but he was absolutely correct.
Hmm.
Now, humorously enough, the commandant is going to be donating 2 artillery positions just to taking him out, and I don't know how he was able to be seen. Yikes! Yikes! That the JE 188 doing the Führer's work here, but the commandant getting pounded as well. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and even with all these, I'm gonna say like huge pushes, it's just been slow trickled stream here from MK Ultra, he hasn't been able to make any significant plays. Once again, it'd be nice to see even just both sides try to attempt something, especially MK Ultra, like down south or in the middle, because there's a big opportunity potential here, just because it's much less built, especially far south for CK. There's barely anything here.
Well, a second JU-88, and actually, I 100% love seeing both JU-88s being picked up here. Spitfire might have something to say about it, but I think there might be just enough ground fire to save him. I think, yep,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeesh, that was close. And the
very
Spitfire
close.
goes down! I don't know who's going to claim that kill, but either way, well. But yeah, Sherman, last lone defender on the front side of that hilltop. He's going to engage both Stugs as they come over, and I'm not sure why the JU-188 decides to continue dancing over the front lines. They're very gutsy, and I would argue kind of foolish idea here.
Indeed it was, but yeah, the Stugs coming over the hill, and at close range they're going to annihilate that Sherman, and this is going to allow CK to get a pretty decent foothold back onto his position.
Actually, you know what? I'd like to see the Stugs deploy on the southern hilltop to engage Shermans across the river. I'd love to see a Flak 43 get brought up on close to the river to, again, just tons and tons of suppression. I know I'm being nitpicky. Ooh, takes out the command carrier.
Ooh.
And the next Stug is starting to engage the Shermans in the flank.
Yeah.
The Shermans don't really have the same kind of turn on this one.
And the Stugs at long range are just going to annihilate those Shermans.
And Stugs are so good. Wow. Like price efficient, really solid weapons platforms. If only they weren't just idiots in terms of their unit AI.
Turning 180 degrees when there's a tank in front of him. If I can't see the tank isn't here. Who needs object permanence?
Exactly. Now the IG-33 over here, northwest, is following with that Indian Vickers machine gun. I don't know what's in that water, but the water just exploded into HE.
There we go, gets the Vickers. Yeah, those IGs have just been on point, especially on an open map like this.
Yes. Now the 105s, they have not been on point. They've been on point in the bad way.
Oh yeah.
Their opponents receiving a lot of extra firepower here.
Yeah, they've been taking the fire, so the IG-33s don't.
We'll get killed, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
They're very strange flex in the Wehrmacht, but okay.
Distraction Carnifex.
Oh man, I haven't watched a game of 40K in forever. I don't know, man. Tyranid play just is so boring to me.
I don't like seeing hordes and hordes of Hormagaunts just, like, mash up the front lines. Like, oh, excuse me, I have to roll 60 dice now.
Yeah, if I need to go and get a bingo's worth of, like, bingo hall's worth of dice to do one round of attacking, it's too much. It's too much. And plus, it's not they have, like, personalities. They have it's a hive mind. Dude, if I wanted that, I'd go down to Amazon for reviews. So, as my Bezos box shuts me down, we are going to see an off-map strike over here coming back from east to west as, what's that? Ooh, an AOP. Jeez, like, what's the... I want to say it's like a 210 or a 300? Yikes, I don't even know this.
Yeah, that's actually... That's funny, because, yeah, most off-map artillery units have the, caliber on them. We just have to guess in this case. This is awful. I like to pretend I know what I'm talking about.
I go into it knowing I have absolutely no idea. That's the mistake, my friend.
It's going to be an artillery caliber shell which will barrage that position in, I'm going to guess, like 2 seconds from now.
2 seconds have passed. I guess it was a smoke barrage. That's a 105. Decently well placed. Unfortunately, had he been able to move another 100, 200 meters to the west, it would have been probably as bang on as you could get. But he didn't know that the eastern part of that town has not really been picked up by anything.
Yeah.
Nor is he really able to appreciate the fact that the Stug over here can start to engage, given just a teensy little bit of push forward. Okay, never mind. Okay.
We're getting into the end of B phase here. And now at this point, it's really CK's games to lose. He's been a very even Stevens in the actual point differential, and neither side has like too much like momentum advantage. CK is slowly starting to build it up, and considering balancing income, that should snowball into his favor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, rifles too. Other thing that we're going to see causing some hassles here is the Schutzen are just going to be better at long range than rifles. I'm sorry. SMLEs are wonderful weapons, but not in this game against MG42s like crazy.
All about the machine gun.
All about that base of fire.
Yep. We've seen
Now,
another off-map artillery, but unless he follows through, Richie's
yikes.
definitely not after that bombing run.
The 188. I didn't even see him come in. I just saw the earth turn bright white for a second. Now, if this is you, do you call out the artillery barrage? You just kind of say, "Screw it, we're doing
Hold
it
off.
live anyway."
If you're not gonna follow through with infantry, there's no point.
I agree. I agree.
Seen up
And
north, like,
please,
oh, it's just Germans being forced off at hill. I think at 114, RT battery barrage is like, yeah, it's deadly. It's very good at concentration fire on a single area, but he still needs to, or in this case, MK Ultra needs to make some pretty gnarly ground gains.
JU80 says, "Hold mein Bier," and bombs up.
Oh,
Did you not get them off?
Bofors, man. There's a few of them. Oh, two of them. Which are a few. And actually, one of them's a free-star veterancy because of the dingo.
Whoever knew that having a dingo on your side would increase your tactical proficiency? Actually, there should be one more artillery barrage for the 210 off map as well. I think only two. So, interesting that we're not seeing it here.
And we're just seeing a whole heap of machine gun firepower as those Gurkhas crest the hill and being greeted by some rather unhappy Germans who would risk to be on top of the hill.
Yeah, but it's kind of like watching the end of the Patriot when they're like, "Oh yes, guys, this is a historical battle of cowpens," and the British come running over the hill, and there's 1 billion guys and a half right.
Yes.
Or maybe for the older crowd out there, that moment in episode 4 when one squad is 30,000 of them right there. It's kind of like that.
Yes.
I say the older generation, and I realize we're from two different generations.
It's a pretty close show, Gen Z and Millennial.
Yeah, yeah. You're the end of history, or I'm the end of history, or something like that, so whatever. Pack 40s, in the meantime, going to be engaging the Shermans as they move on forwards, and what we're seeing here is a failure to communicate, as the Shermans say, "I don't feel like dying today," and the Pack 40 says, "I don't care."
Yeah, you're gonna die one way or another, and this is a pretty decent push of the Shermans in the central position, forcing that Pack 40 back for the time being, but he needs to follow on through some more substantial reinforcements, and the 114 battery is actually starting to get efficiently counter-barraged now. One of them's down to a single hit point.
Actually counter barraged, yes, but there's still 5 of them over there.
Yeah.
It'd be impressive to be able to get the JU-188 over into that direction, but there's too much ground fire. Way too much ground fire.
If he wanted to be really ballsy and sneaky, and he probably won't do this, do it along the southern flank, and then hook your way up north.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. That would be a sexy flight path.
It exposes
you. On the side, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
There's been nothing this entire time. The entire match has gone on, and
both sides have really just fallen into that tunnel vision trap, which for CK works perfectly for him.
Oh yeah, he's got numbers in pretty much every single part of the divisional kind of layout. Infantry wise, he's more okay. I guess I would argue that the quality is still there. That way.
He has definitely the quality advantage. Just Sturmstreetchen, I mean, it's still one of the best infantry units in game. You give 13 guys a bloody assault rifle, it's pretty goddamn modern.
Yep, absolutely true. There is still a 105 on map who's just kind of chilling behind his RSO, so I'm not sure exactly what he's anticipating here, but he's doing something.
Mm-hmm. We're getting it's a decent push here from MK Ultra. He's making some ground gains, but CK just has so much firepower, and at Northern Hill he has so much firepower being brought on in with the Stugs and the Flags and the Packs and the Storm Suchins and the 105s. I think it's gonna be a very slow snowball, but it's slowly going into CK's favor here.
You know, I wasn't sure if you were trying to rap there for a second because there were Stugs and their packs and their tracks, and I was like, oh man, I'm
It's
digging
gonna
it.
be like the Pokemon rap, where you just name off all the Pokemon. It'd be very hard to do these days. Like 900 or so. It's much easier when there's only 151.
You know what? When you start getting to the Hungarian squads and the Finnish squads, the verses where you drop some hot lead, I will live. Honestly, if we could have any one of our viewers out there, just go ahead, give us a nice little verse of that, and give me some nice actual pronunciation, because I think I'd be fascinated to know how horribly I'm butchering it.
Yeah. It's all finished to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But when you finish, I want to know. Pack 40 is going to probably take out this last Sherman. Yep, there we go. And that push is now dead. And that's just been the consistent thing. MK Ultra, he breaks the code. He thinks he's breaking the code completely. And then the Germans become an enigma again.
Yeah, it's his fighting over such a small frontage. He's just been choke point in. When, yeah, if he had opportunities to push in the center or far down south. Of course, this division isn't as good in those areas, arguably, compared to 78th. But he has so many bloody 17-pounders in his deck that he can zone out those areas with long-range anti-tank.
We are starting to see a slow build-up in the middle. I say slow because we actually see anybody else other than just one guy. As a couple of squads of Schutzen and a Stug get brought on in. A 150 is getting deployed, and I don't know if he's going to be looking to rotate the field of fire over here, or if that's just kind of, oh, I'm just going to site my artillery someplace else. Not 100% sure on that.
We are seeing all the way up north. It's actually a pretty effective push here, until that one Sherman gets in the way. He's actually going to be able to hold that back for the time being. There's no actual Stugs up north anymore, so yeah, it's going to hold CK for quite a bit.
Until that Panzerschreck comes in. Which will kill. Very much will kill. He can get into
position.
He can. I think we kind of forget sometimes how ridiculously far 250 meters is.
Oh yeah, yeah. The rifle Piats are being... Oh, that's actually a little bit far away. Gotta not miss. He has one shot. He can't blow it.
Or actually, he wants to blow it.
Oh yeah, he blew it. Never mind. There goes that plan.
JU-188 coming on in over here towards that town. And again, we're going to see this consistent kind of thing. Indians are going to aggress. And, you know, CK530 is really going to drop the bomb on them. So, which when you think about it is like one of the most murderous twice in a row. Jeez.
Yeah, just 3-star Bofors, man. That guy is pretty much as a radar dish.
Yikes. I didn't know ZSUs got made in the Second World War. But now we're seeing the attack pack over here in the middle as Schützen move forward with the Stug. This is an interesting change of approach.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, now CK has the income where he can afford to actually, you know, really push off the flanks.
Yep, absolutely true. We are going to see the 150. Is he going to go after that artillery as well? Yeah, so the artillery is having artillery duel back and forth. We've seen 2 of those 114s get taken out. One final one still trying to engage. I'm trying to see... Yeah, where are they trying to go? Oh, they're going after that north gun. Yeah, he's probably going to buy the farm here. But while he buys the farm, looks like that 150 is probably going to get the milk for free.
Oh yeah. He just needs to hit the general zip code to do damage.
And in the middle of the town is now completely under CK530's control. There is one Vickers and very, very plucky scouts who have decided to scout back towards the rear.
Yeah, probably a smart move for them. They can see a little bit more there without getting completely shredded by automatic weapons fire.
which is kind of funny because all the Sturmschützen just kind of marching on forwards. There's four squads that have, been hurt for sure, but behind the front lines, that's the second line. The first line is just this wave of flesh. Indian scouts, yeah, geez, with the sniper variant over here, very, very plucky. Soon they're going to get completely, totally plucked. But Vickers
Like,
goes down. Indian scouts aren't far behind. And this is going to be a really, really tough thing to kind of go back that direction with. Yikes, in the middle as well. I'm sorry, please.
no, it's just bugged, and there we go.
And getting over here, yeah, this was a little bit more deadly in terms of, CK530 to MK Ultra.
Mhm.
A lot of those Shermans got taken out. A lot of those Shermans.
Yeah, he played the run front game with a division which is meant to be a bit more mobile. I mean, Sleuth is a harder map to be a bit mobile with as it's so open, but you still gotta try and push other areas, especially as Maverick. Once you get to like a 10-minute mark and you realize that you're not making any substantial headway up north, you need to push somewhere else. You need to try and get, you know, territory with abundance and flags, like rush down south into the farm area or the far southern hill, try to get those locations rather than getting pounded by one of the most well-equipped German infantry divisions in game.
Exactly. Exactly. And we see it right here, though. I mean, kills wise, there are a couple of standouts. We have one 17-pounder who picked up triple Stokes and a Schutzen, and a Sherman who did rather well for himself. If you want to go to the losses, you can see the heroes of this. Numea, for example, one, two, three Shermans, a universal carrier, a couple of squads of infantry. JU-188 and JU-188 picking up three. Sturmschützen picking up three. Flak 88 picking up 2 kills. Pack 40 picking up 4 kills.
Oh, the 88! Look at him!
Yes, Johannes over here, that man's a beast. That man is a beast. And Hamel, well, he's doing a lot of hammering over here. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple weapons platforms over here, I'd argue, for the 70th Sturm that you have to be really, really good and effective in utilizing, but I think we definitely saw that.
Indeed, we did.
But, any final thoughts, sir?
No, none at all.
Well, folks, in that case, then, looks like it's going to be done for us, kind of coverage today, and really for this week. But, as always, you'll see us more next week with some more replays. Until that time, I'm Conover.
I'm Rang Wu, take it easy.